So as the Fed tries to set policy to promote its goals of stable prices and a high level of employment, it has one primary tool, and that's the setting of interest rates. So as the Fed wants to enact its policy, it's really looking at the money supply and trying to have the right amount of funds and reserves out into the banking sector. The way it's found over the last 30 years to do that is to actually set interest rates, not any particular longer term interest rate, but actually a short term interest rate, which is called the federal funds rate. This rate is actually the rate that is not used by consumers. It's actually the rate at which banks lend to each other on an overnight basis. So technically, this is saying a bank might need to have a little extra funds to get through this day to the next day. There's a market it can go to and borrow money for just that one night, overnight period. So the Federal Reserve, to actually implement that, they'll set at their committee meeting, the Federal Open Market Committee, they'll say, here's the federal funds rate we want. They then send an instructive to go up to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, where the main trading desk is. At the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, the markets group, they're going to go into the market and they're going to typically buy and sell through open market operations treasury notes to get the right amount of reserves out in the system, so that in this overnight lending market you'll get the interest rate at the rate the Fed has targeted. Through doing so, that's the Fed's tool in terms of saying this is a way we're going to try and regulate the amount of money out in the country that'll help promote these two objectives.